Hi, Dr. Krista here, and I wanted to talk about reflux, heartburn. What is going on there? Why are you experiencing that, especially all of a sudden, or it's been a long time? Really important that we start to work on this because this is a sign that things aren't working digestively. So there could be other inflammation going on. Especially if you are getting that reflux all the time, it can lead to things like Barrett's esophagus in the future, which is a consequence that you do not want to have. So with reflux and heartburn, I know the conventional way of thinking about it is that you have too much acid, right? Acid coming up, lets you have too much of it, let's block it. So when you take something like over-the-counter Tums, or maybe you take a proton pump inhibitor, a PPI, then you are decreasing that acid, effectively blocking it. Yes, you may not have the heartburn after that, but the problem with it is you need acid to digest your food. So if you think about you just ate a piece of steak, you have no acid to break that down. How is it going to break down in your stomach and get to a point where it's a little mush microparticles that your body and cells can use? So most proton pump inhibitors are only meant to be taken for tops 8 weeks, but most people are never taken off of them, and that is so dangerous for your body. You likely are experiencing other symptoms because you're not able to break down the micronutrients into digestible units that your body can use. So another way of thinking about it is that you actually have too little acid, and that is creating the heartburn and the reflux. The reason for this is that you have a sphincter here in your throat, and it is supposed to remain closed. However, it only stays closed if it senses acid underneath it. If there's no acid underneath it, it'll actually remain open, and the little bit of acid that you do have can trickle up and cause that discomfort and the heartburn and the reflux. So we actually have to work on tightening that sphincter. Muscle tone wise, we can actually work on that, and creating enough acid down here that it senses that it needs to close. And then you won't have that reflux come up. Obviously, reflux can come from other things too, particular foods. I know there are common foods out there that cause reflux, but it's also very individual. There could be a food that maybe it's even a perfectly healthy food, but for you it causes reflux. We really got to sort that out. Maybe it's something structural, like you have a hernia, ulcers, something in your stomach that's protruding and causing issues to make reflux and heartburn happen. It could also be things like stress and anxiety that can cause heartburn and that burning feeling. If you have thyroid stuff going on here in your throat, sometimes your throat can be impacted. Or if you have sensitivities, allergies to things that cause your actual throat to burn, that can be part of it as well, right? So there's a lot of different avenues to explore, but the biggest thing is we got to make sure you're digesting your food properly so that you can actually utilize what you're eating to make sure that you feel good long term.